Is it raining over there? It's raining here. And so I'm getting a little start, late start on my normal breakfast. Today I woke up thinking about my mom's papas con chorizo, otherwise potatoes with chorizo. It was the best breakfast. We were a family of 12, so it had to be cheap. And sometimes the chorizo was the meat for our breakfast. No bacon, no sausage, just papas and chorizo, some scrambled eggs, frijoles, a simple, delicious breakfast. Well, I'm going to show you my mom's chorizo and papas. So I've already peeled 3 potatoes, and I have one more I'm going to peel. But before I do that, we're going to start our chorizo. And people say, I don't know about cooking chorizo because I can never tell if it's cooked through. How do you know? I'm going to make it easy for you. I'm going to get about, I would say, 1 ounce of water, just enough. And I have a saucepan here. We're going to pre-cook this separately. So you're going to know that it's totally cooked. So I have this chorizo here, and I have cacique brand. And I'm going to, you could squeeze it out of the casing if you like, but I'm just going to slice it down with a serrated knife. And then I'm just going to open that. And people say, you have to squeeze it out, making it easy. Look, how easy was that? Just comes right out. Now we're going to put this pan on our heat because I'm just going to steam it and then let it cook, steam. Once it's steamed, we're going to take out the lid, and that's when all the liquid's dissipated, and it's going to be ready to use. So I'm going to put it on medium heat, and if you like, which I like, you can break it down a little to give it a quick go. I have this handy dandy Pampered Chef utensil that easily breaks down everything. So you're just gonna smash it down. And I'm gonna show you how it looks. See, just break it down a little so that it'll cook super fast. And if it's frozen like this one, I put it in the microwave for a few, just about 1 minute. There it goes, ready to steam. In the meanwhile, we're going to get a pan for the potatoes. And I have this wok style. And the reason I'm using this is because I want to deep fry the potatoes. And I have canola oil. Preference when deep frying, you need a high point oil, or else you'll have more likelihood of it burning. And yes, it looks like I'm putting a lot, because when you go to a restaurant and the deep fried fries, do they put like about that much oil to deep fry? No. We want these potatoes to get crisp. We want them to get crisp fast. So look, your potatoes, when you cook them, should at least be halfway covered. Let's just tell you that. And I'm going to put on my heat, and I'm going to start it at high because I want it to get hot. In the meantime, I have 4 potatoes here. I peeled these, and I'm going to peel this last one. You can peel it with a knife, but you should get yourself a handy dandy peeler. So easy, and especially right now on Thanksgiving where you're going to peeling all those potatoes. You can do it. Some people like this brand, right? This style. I have both. Or you can just use this one. Both of them are effective. It's all what I used to use this all the time. But I don't know why. I bought one of these and I like them better. So I use this one. And some people peel it towards you, but I'm afraid of that. So I don't do that. I don't want to get myself burned. I mean, skin, chop off a piece of my skin. So these are rinsed. I'm going to rinse this one. And we're letting our oil get hot, but we don't want it to be smoking. If it's smoking, that means you have your temperature too high. So now I'm going to turn it down a little. And you don't want to really crowd your pan. So I'm cutting it in half lengthwise, the length of the potato. I'm going to put it flat. This is how I slice mine. And you can have it smaller slices, or you can just, if your potato's small, you can just slice it. And make sure they're uniform. That's the main thing. If I have a bigger potato, I will cut it down the middle because I want it to be equally sized.
Question. Do you have a tea hat?
Yeah, on top of my hutch, top of my armoire, there's a box of black and white. Okay, and these, I'm going to, this one's kind of big. So this is how I cut it. You can do this to all of them if you like. And once they're cooked, who's going to know? It's not going to be, oh, this one's this shape, this one's that shape. Just as long as they're equally shaped pieces. And you can use your chopper. I have a chopper and it makes little cubes, but I don't like them. When I make papas and chorizo, this is how my mom made it. I want to do Maria's papas. It takes me back. It's a nostalgic thing. So like I said, you can cut it like that. See? And then just put them together like this. Make sure you're cutting them all the sizes equally as to the best of your ability. You don't have to measure, eyeball it. And another thing, you don't want to throw them in little by little because they fry all at the same. Some people will say, okay, I peeled one, throw it in. And I peeled the other one, throw it in. No, don't do that because they're going to cook unevenly. You don't want that. So here's the last one. And I'm just making enough to show you. And if there's some left, I will refrigerate it and I'll make burritos the next morning. Heat up your potatoes in the microwave. And it's just going to be fine. No, nothing goes to waste. Okay, now we have all our potatoes. Let's come over to our stove. And you can tell when it's hot, you'll see the movement in there. You'll feel the heat. And the ultimate test is you're going to throw a potato in. But first, we're going to check on our chorizo. Okay, all the water has dissipated. Do you see that? The water, I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to turn it lower so it can be ready. I'm going to put it probably on low, and I'm going to let it go low and slow until I get ready to use it, use the reach, and I'm just going to move it around in there, and it's going to fry, and it's going to change color. You saw when I put it in, it's this bright orange. It's going to get darker. And how do we know if our oil's ready? Throw in a potato. I say that's ready. And what you're looking to, mentioned to you, is to deep fry these potatoes. So stay away from the hot oil. Get those potatoes in. And you'll hear them deep frying, like McDonald's. Isn't that a lovely sound? And then you're going to just move them around. And they're going to be done in a flash. I usually get mine. And I forgot to tell you, break up your potatoes before you throw them in, so you won't have to worry about this. Now the potatoes have come down in temperature because I added all that. So I'm putting it back on high because I want to bring it back up to temperature. These are going to be done in a flash. And now that I have it, to bring it up to temperature, and also when I make potatoes and chorizo, I like them to be fried, but I'm going to put this lid, this is the right one. I need a lid to put on it to cover it. When I make my breakfast potatoes, I like them crispy, like fries. And my husband always liked them extra crispy. And yes, I love it like that. However, when I make my mom's potatoes and chorizo, she always, they were crispy but soft. So she would, and the way she would achieve that is she would put a lid on it and kind of steam them a little. So watch it. And I am going to salt them. See, you want to let them get a little crispy, like that, before you even turn them. But I was going to cover them, but they're already at to temperatures. So I'm going to wait to steam them a little until I do the second part. And yes, I put my salt in. Potatoes need a lot of salt. So you salt them in, when you're making your mashed potatoes for Thanksgiving, salt them, salt the water. And I always put my potatoes in cold, in the water, and then I add some salt. And then when I drain them, then before I even smash them, I add more salt to the potatoes, so the potatoes are moist and they're like sponges. They'll absorb the salt. Put your salt in, and I put my pepper too, yeah. You could use white pepper, I just use black. But see how my chorizo is turning dark? It is ready for the potatoes. And it's going to cook in just a little minute until you see little bubbles. You see the fat rendering in your chorizo, that's when you know it's ready. Okay, so let's give these potatoes a toss or stir. And I'm not actually going to put these on. The lid on for a second. And what do you have for this? Get yourself some egg, frijoles refritos. Otherwise, you'll just beans. Let me go to my kitchen. Okay, you can hear this chorizo over here bubbling away. And this is what it's going to look like. And it's gotten darker, but I'm still letting it get a little darker yet. Okay, when you cover your potatoes, you are steaming them, cooking them all the way through. Who do we have on here? Silky Wilkie, hello. Virginia, Jana, and Linda, hello. We're making papas con chorizo in Deb's kitchen, and translated means just potatoes with chorizo, and chorizo is pork chorizo we're using. And you see these are turning color. And yes, there's a lot of oil, but we're using it, when you have your temperature of your oil hot, it doesn't, the potatoes don't just bathe in it and just absorb all that fat. You're just cooking it on the outside in. So, we're going to switch switcheroo. We're gonna do a little switcheroo here. Let me try that. Okay, I'm gonna move these over here, and I'm gonna move my chorizo here, because this is the next step. The next step is we're going to drain those. We're gonna put our chorizo into a pan like this. I'll pour out, because we want everything in there, that oil, even the oil, yes, because that's what's gonna make our papas delicious. So we're just waiting for this to come to temperature. Just spread it around there. It's fully cooked. You can see it's separated kind of. How do you know it's cooked? It separates. It looks like mini ground beef. It's not mushed anymore. It's actually, you can see little crumbles. And this is ready for our potatoes. So I'm turning this off. And we're going to drain our potatoes. That's why I have a slotted sleeve. A little ones like that. And you can put as much chorizo as you like. If you don't like a lot of chorizo, do not put half of that. Normally I would put half if I'm making this amount, but I want it to be really full of that chorizo body. So your potatoes are cooked, fully cooked. Some of them look not as golden, but they're cooked. When you cover them, they cook. And in this last stage, it'll cook even more. Now we're going to move this out of the way. I'm going to do it griddle because I need tortilla on that. And we're going to take these and we're going to turn down the heat now on low. And I'm going to toss this chorizo with the potatoes. And that is going to absorb into those potatoes. And we're going to have delicious Mama Mary's delicious potatoes. And I'm going to put some pepper in it. A lot of pepper because I like it. And I am going to put a little bit of Lawry's seasoning salt. Again. And you can do it two ways. So this chorizo is fully cooked. So now you just want to get it totally mixed in. Every little potato has chorizo on it. Spicy chorizo. Deliciousness. And my mom always had them on the soft side. So now that they're cooked, I'm going to put the lid back on. And this is the bigger one. Who cares? And we have our chorizo. I'm going to make the way that I like to eat them. And I'm going to use, normally you get a tortilla homemade. I have this low carb counter, 2 grams of carb. Got 60 calories. You got to cut calories somewhere, right? So this is the best way to have a. Like I said, we didn't have anything else. It was just straight out. Sometimes it was even just potatoes and chorizo. Sometimes we didn't have. We had 10 kids. And my mom would make a huge pan of potatoes and chorizo. And she would make homemade tortillas. And she would make us potato burritos. And they were delicious. And people might have said, oh, you guys didn't have much. But whatever we had, my mama made, it was delicious. Better than the restaurant. Watch my tortilla. And we need that tortilla to rise. I tell you, when you're cooking a store-bought tortilla, make sure you cook it. When people put it in the microwave, oh, that's the cardinal sin. You can heat it on a grill. You can heat it in a, if you don't have a griddle, you can put it in a Teflon pan. You can put it straight on the tines if you like. And my mom would put her tortillas, heat them up straight on the tines. But then you get the charcoal on there. So. And you know what else this is good for? Yes, but potato tacos. You like potato tacos? Chorizo and potato tacos are even better yet. You get the potatoes, deep fry it. As a matter of fact, maybe I'll make one if I have a tortilla for you. Best ever. As I burn my corn tortilla, I like my tortillas toasty. Ooh, yes, just like that. My mom used to purposely burn her tortillas, and I would burn them too because my mom did it. It must be delicious. Hey, so let's take our tortilla, nice and toasty, just how I like them. That's our tortilla. It adds a flavor. When you burn things, caramelize anything, it gives that added flavor, believe it or not. Okay. Potatoes are ready. I'm turning them off. They're nice and soft. They're not crunchy like when I make fried potato fries. They're not crunchy. They're cooked and you can see that they were crunchy, but they're soft. And there is a difference, folks. And they're not sticking to the pan anymore. Doesn't that look delicious? It is. If you don't believe me, I'm going to taste it right now for you. So I'm getting my tortilla. Crunchy. And I'm making basically a taco, chorizo taco with tortilla, flour, get that. If you like, you can grate some cheese on it. I have some cotija cheese here, crumbly Mexican cheese. You just get some of that. And you have a potato taco. Put some more potato in there, more chorizo. It smells delicious. And I have my salsa. You can add salsa if you like. These carb tortillas, it's better if you have a homemade tortilla, but I'm trying to watch it somewhere. Mm-hmm. That's delicious. But I'm going to make you 2 tacos. Potato tacos, and these are good for any time of the day. Dinner. You have to watch it, they pop. You just want to get your tortilla pliable. Get your oil going again, and you better watch these because it's better if you have a deep pan because these will pop. Get some of your potatoes, and we're just going to fill, and I'm going to smash it down. And people make just plain potato tacos, just potatoes with seasonings like garlic, onion, salt, and onion powder and garlics. I'm going to put a toothpick because I don't want these falling apart. Yeah. And don't, the key to this is turn them once. Because if you turn them twice, you have a chance of all that filling falling out. So make sure you crisp it. And put in my toothpick. And I'm going to kind of smash that together. So I want the potatoes to stick to one another. When you smash it, turn down the heat. Might be too hot. See, I got it, and I'm just pressing on this and press it to make those potatoes stick together. They're so soft, like mashed potatoes. And like I said, you're only going to want to turn them once, so make sure your oil's hot enough, because you don't want to be having to turn them twice. And I'm going to get some tongs. Do you hear that popping? You turn it down lower and feel it. You can feel with your tongs whether it's cooked, or you can even try to lift it up a little. And potato tacos are as easy as that. People will use leftover mashed potatoes. If I make baked potatoes and I have potatoes left, I save them and I peel off the skin. I take out the filling, add some pepper, and you're good. Now, if you like them softer, you can make them a little softer. If you like them hard, leave them longer. But don't be turning them, because when you turn them and move them, you're knocking out the filling. You do not want to do that. So check this side. And if it feels hard, turn it. Let it fry up on the other side, and okay, those are done. Take your tacos. I hold it against the edge of the pan so nothing will fall out. Drain it the best you can. But then place it on napkins. Absorb the oil. Take this off the heat. And come back to the and yeah, you can go ahead and pat it, give it a pat, make sure you get all that oil out. Then you open your tacos. Now at this point you can add grated cheddar cheese, Monterey Jack, or keep it traditional and use some of this cotija cheese, and see how the inside is nice and smashed and cooked. Add your cheese, get some pico de gallo or salsa, drizzle the salsa over it. Some people do that. Queso fresco, whatever you want. And there it is. Crispy potato and chorizo tacos. Mmm. Bit hot. Grab yourself some salsa, taco sauce, if you want. Huh. Huh. 2 budget-friendly meals. Poor food. Make yourself a bunch of tacos for dinner, lunch, and you're set. Make yourself a chorizo taco or fry an egg, frijoles refritos on the side, on a plate, and breakfast is served. You've been in Deb's Kitchen, where everything is simple, budget-friendly, sometimes healthy, sometimes repurposing what's in the refrigerator and pantry, but always delicious. But I have to say, these carb tortillas are not cutting it. I need a homemade tortilla to get the full effect and feel like I'm back at my mama's kitchen. This is Deb. Have a blessed weekend. And remember, this is a day that the Lord has made. Go forth and rejoice in it. Be glad in it. Bye.